The deep space was silent and dark when Evan's small ship moved between broken metal and old stars. He was a salvager. His job was to search dead space stations and collect useful parts. It was lonely work, but it paid enough to survive. Evan was a simple human. He did not dream of power. He only wanted a quiet life. That day, his scanner showed weak life signs inside a destroyed alien station. Most people would leave. Damaged stations were dangerous. But Evan was not the kind of man who walked away from someone in trouble. He landed his ship on the broken platform and moved inside with a small light. The station was cold and filled with smoke. Burn marks covered the walls. Something terrible had happened here. Then he saw her. She was lying near a broken control panel, unconscious and badly injured. She looked almost human, but not fully. Her skin had a soft silver shine. Her hair was long and pale blue. Blood slowly drifted around her in zero gravity. Evan's heart skipped. "She is alive," he whispered. Without thinking of danger, he pulled her into his arms and rushed back to his ship. He placed her on the medical bed and started first aid. He used all his simple tools to stop the bleeding and fix her wounds. For many hours, she did not wake up. Outside his ship, far away in a galaxy, something huge was happening. Every major screen was showing the same message. "The richest and most powerful alien woman in the galaxy is missing," the announcer said. Her personal fleet failed to stop an unknown attack. A full galaxy-wide search has begun. But Evan did not watch the news. He stayed near the girl. After some time, her eyes slowly opened. They were bright and deep, like living stars. She looked at Evan with fear and shock. "Why?" she said in a weak voice. "Why did you save me?" Evan felt nervous, but stayed calm. "You were hurt," he replied. "Anyone would help." Her eyes widened. "You did not know who I am?" she asked. He shook his head. "I only saw someone dying," he said. "That was enough." For a moment, she said nothing. Then soft tears filled her strange eyes. She tried to sit, but felt weak. Evan gently helped her. "My name is Lyra," she said, hiding something behind her words. "I am Evan," he replied with a small smile. Outside, his ship moved toward a small human colony at the edge of space. It was the only safe place nearby. Evan did not know that carrying Lyra was about to change his life and the whole galaxy forever. Back in deep space, something terrifying was moving. Hidden alien warships activated their engines. Elite hunters were released. Their mission was simple. "Find her," their leaders said, "no matter what it takes." As Evan's ship entered the quiet colony zone, a dark shadow passed far behind him in space. He did not see it. He did not feel it. Lyra closed her eyes in fear. "They are coming," she whispered to herself. Evan heard only one thing from her low voice: fear. And for the first time, he felt that the woman he saved was not just an injured stranger. She was something far more dangerous and important than he could ever imagine. Evan's ship landed safely near the small human colony at the edge of space. It was a quiet place with simple homes and tired people. No one here dreamed of galactic power. They only wanted peace. Evan helped Lyra out of the ship. She walked slowly. Her body still looked weak, but her eyes were sharp and alert. The people of the colony watched her with quiet curiosity. They had never seen someone like her before. Evan gave her food and water inside his small home. She ate carefully, as if she had not touched human food before. Every small thing surprised her. The light, the sound, even the way people laughed outside. "You are safe here," Evan said kindly. Lyra forced a small smile, but inside her heart, fear was growing fast. Far away in space, the hunters were closing in. 3 massive black ships moved silently through the stars. Inside them were warriors trained only to capture one target. No matter the cost, no matter the danger. "The energy trail is fresh," the hunter captain said. "She is close. I can feel it." Back on the colony, strange things began to happen. Lyra stood near a broken power unit and touched it by mistake. The lights of the entire street suddenly turned on at full strength. Everyone stared in shock. Evan stared too. "That was not normal," he said slowly. Lyra pulled her hand back fast. "It was just luck," she said, but her voice shook. That night, alarms suddenly rang near the edge of the colony. A small patrol ship had exploded in the sky for no clear reason. No enemy was seen. No attack was detected. People panicked. Evan looked at Lyra. She was standing still, her hands tight, her eyes glowing softly in the dark. "Did you do that?" he asked quietly. She did not answer. Instead, she whispered, "They are closer now." Evan felt cold fear move through his body. Outside the colony, deep in the shadows of space, the hunter ships stopped. "We have found the energy source," the captain said. "She is hiding among humans." Back in Evan's home, Lyra finally broke down. Tears fell from her eyes as she spoke. "They will kill everyone here to get to me," she said in pain. Evan grabbed her shoulders. "Who are they?" he asked. "And why do they want you so badly?" Lyra shook her head. "I cannot tell you everything yet," she said, "but if you stay near me, you will die." Evan stood silent for a moment. Then he said the one thing she did not expect. "Then I will not leave you alone." Lyra stared at him in shock. "You do not understand," she warned. "The galaxy itself is hunting me." Evan looked at the dark sky outside his small window. "Then the galaxy picked the wrong human," he said calmly. In that moment, powerful scanners from the hunter ships locked onto the colony. Red warning lights flashed deep in space. The hunt had truly begun, and for the first time in countless years, the most powerful force in the galaxy had come face to face with one simple human decision. The colony was still asleep when the first shadow passed over the metal rooftops. It was so fast that no one noticed it. No sound, no light, only a silent warning from space. Inside his small home, Evan suddenly woke up. A strange pressure filled the air. Lyra was sitting up on the bed, her eyes wide open, glowing softly. "They are here," she whispered. Before Evan could speak, the sky outside exploded with bright red light. Boom! One of the colony's old defense towers was destroyed in a single strike. Sirens screamed across the streets. People ran out of their homes in fear. Children cried. Guards rushed to their positions with weak weapons that were useless against alien warships. Above them, 3 massive black hunter ships appeared from invisibility. They moved like dark gods in the sky. The hunter captain spoke through every screen and speaker in the colony. "Give us the woman you are hiding," the cold voice said, "or this place will burn." Fear spread like fire. Evan looked at Lyra. Her body trembled. "I told you," she said in pain. "They will destroy everything for me." Outside, another blast shook the ground. A watchtower fell. Flames covered the street. Evan made his decision. He grabbed a small weapon and pulled Lyra toward his old ship. "We will not wait here," he said. "We leave now." They ran through smoke and screaming crowds. Alien drones dropped from the sky, scanning every face. Red laser lines touched the ground everywhere. One drone locked on Lyra. "Target found," it announced. Before it could fire, Evan turned and shot it with everything he had. The blast destroyed the drone, but the impact threw Evan to the ground. His arm burned with pain. Lyra screaming. Another drone moved in to finish him. In that moment, something inside Lyra broke. A wave of blue energy exploded from her body. The drone was crushed in the air like paper. The ground cracked under her feet. The light from her eyes flashed like lightning. Evan stared in shock. She was no longer hiding. Every hunter ship detected the surge of power. "That is her," the captain said with a dark smile. "The target has revealed herself." More drones dropped. Evan pulled himself up, his arm shaking. "You are not fighting them alone," he said. The sky burned with fire and metal. Defense guns fired and failed. Streets turned into war zones. Lyra raised her hands again. This time, a shield formed around Evan. Lasers hit it and vanished. "You should not protect me," she cried. "I bring death wherever I go." Evan looked at her through the glowing shield. "Then we face it together," he said. At that very moment, a massive hunter ship lowered itself directly over the colony center. The ground shook as its shadow covered everything. The hunter captain's voice returned. "Surrender now," he said, "or we take the girl from your ashes." Lyra fell to her knees. Evan stood in front of her. One human, against a galactic army, and the universe was watching what he would do next. The massive hunter ship hovered over the colony like a dark sun. The ground shook under its weight. Its shadow covered Evan and Lyra completely. Fire burned in the streets. People were trapped with nowhere to run. Evan stood in front of Lyra with his weak weapon raised. His hand was shaking, but he did not step back. The hunter captain spoke again, his voice calm and cruel. "Human," he said, "step away from the woman. This does not concern you." Evan answered without fear. "She is under my protection," he said. The captain laughed. "You protect her," he said, "but you do not even know who she is." Silence filled the air. Behind Evan, Lyra slowly stood. Tears rolled down her face. Her body glowed faintly with blue light. "He deserves to know the truth," she whispered. Evan turned to her. "What truth?" he asked. Lyra looked at the burning colony, at the people screaming, at the sky full of enemy ships. Then she spoke words that changed everything. "My real name is not Lyra," she said. "I am the sovereign of the Orion wealth worlds. I rule over half the galaxy's trade and power." Evan felt the words hit him like a shock wave. "You," he whispered, "you are the queen they talk about on the news." She lowered her head in shame. "Yes," she said, "the richest ruler in the galaxy." Evan's mind froze. The broken station, the injured girl, the simple refugee he tried to save. All of it suddenly felt unreal. "They tried to kill me," she continued. "My own council wanted my power. They destroyed my fleet and left me for dead." The hunter captain's voice returned. "She belongs to the Galactic Council now," he said. "Her rule ends today." Lyra raised her glowing eyes to the sky. "I will not bow to traitors," she said. The air around her exploded with power. Blue fire wrapped around her body. The ground broke under her feet. The nearest hunter ship was pushed back by an invisible force. The soldiers inside screamed in fear. Evan stared in shock. This was no helpless alien. This was a living weapon. Still, the hunter ships did not retreat. They opened fire together. The sky turned red with lasers. Lyra raised a massive shield over the entire colony. The attacks crashed into the shield and vanished. But the power drained her fast. Blood fell from the corner of her mouth. Evan saw her weaken. Without thinking, he ran to her side and held her up. "You are not alone," he said. "Not anymore." The hunter captain gave a cold order. "Prepare the final strike." The biggest ship charged its main weapon. A light brighter than a star formed at its core. Lyra looked at it with fear. "If that fires," she said softly, "everything will be erased." Evan tightened his grip on her hand. "Then we make our stand here," he said. The weapon reached full power. The fate of the colony, the queen, and one human soul now rested in a single moment. The giant hunter ship charged its main weapon. The light grew brighter and brighter, like a newborn sun in the sky. The air shook. The people in the colony cried and closed their eyes, waiting for death. Lyra could barely stand now. Her shield was still active, but her strength was fading fast. Blood dripped from her lips. Evan held her tightly, so she would not fall. "If that weapon fires," Lyra whispered, "nothing will remain. Not me. Not you. Not this colony." Evan looked up at the sky. His heart was full of fear, but his eyes were calm. "Then I will give you the time you need," he said. Before Lyra could stop him, Evan stepped out of the shield. The red lasers of the hunter ships locked onto his body at once. "Human," the captain's voice echoed. "Move away or die with her." Evan raised his small weapon and shouted into the sky. "You want her," he said. "Then come take her from me." The hunters hesitated. A single human standing alone under a sky full of warships made no sense. Then the captain laughed. "Erase him," he ordered. Dozens of lasers fired at Evan at the same time. In a flash, Lyra screamed and pushed all her remaining power forward. The shield moved and barely reached Evan in time. The blast hit the shield and exploded into light and heat. The ground shattered. Smoke covered the streets. When the smoke cleared, Evan was still standing. His clothes were burned. His body was bleeding, but he did not fall. The people of the colony watched in shock. A weak human had stood against the fire of the stars and lived. The hunter captain's voice was no longer calm. "What is he?" the captain growled. "Why does he not break?" Evan turned back to Lyra. She was on her knees, shaking. Her power was almost gone. "This ends now," Evans said. He activated his old war gear hidden under his jacket. It was relic tech from an ancient human war. Forbidden, dangerous, but powerful. Energy wrapped around his arms and chest. His weapon transformed into a heavy pulse rifle. For the first time in generations, a human weapon locked onto a galactic capital ship. Evan fired. A single beam of pure force tore through the sky and struck the hunter ship's weapon core. The light in the sky broke apart. The charging star died in an instant. The massive hunter ship exploded. Fire and metal rain fell across space. Every other hunter ship pulled back in shock. They destroyed a capital ship, one soldier cried, with human tech. The captain went silent. Lyra stared at the burning wreck in the sky. "You should not be able to do that," she whispered. Evan collapsed to one knee. The weapon drained his strength fast. His vision grew dark. "I told you," he said weakly, "you are not alone anymore." The battle was not over. But the galaxy had just learned something it had forgotten long ago. Humans were never weak. The sky was filled with fire and broken metal from the destroyed hunter ship. The other enemy vessels slowly moved back in fear. No one had expected a single human to destroy a galactic capital ship. Evan fell to the ground. His body was shaking. The old human war tech around him faded and turned dark. Smoke rose from his armor. Lyra screamed and ran to him. "Evan," she cried, holding his head in her arms, "stay with me." His eyes were half open. "I'm still here," he whispered. "Looks like your enemies felt that hit." Tears fell from Lyra's eyes onto his face. In the sky, the hunter captain had lost his calm. "All ships," the captain shouted, "surround them now." But before the enemy ships could attack again, something unexpected happened. The stars behind them began to move. A massive fleet dropped out of warp space. Golden ships, bright symbols, royal banners. The real royal fleet had arrived. Lyra felt at the moment they appeared. Her eyes widened. "My loyal guards," she whispered, "they finally found me." The hunter ships froze in fear. The largest golden ship sent a powerful message across space. "This is the royal fleet of the Orion Wealth Worlds," the deep voice said. "Release our queen at once." Every soldier in the hunter fleet went silent. The hunter captain tried to speak. "She is a criminal of the council," he said. Lyra slowly stood up. Her pain was still there, but her spirit was stronger than ever. "No," she said loudly, "they are the criminals. They betrayed me. They tried to kill me for my throne." Her voice now carried the true power of a ruler. The royal fleet moved into attack positions. Thousands of weapons aimed at the hunter ships. For the first time, the hunters felt fear. "Stand down," the royal commander ordered. The hunter ships tried to escape, but it was too late. Blue and gold light filled space as the royal fleet fired. One by one, the hunter ships were destroyed or forced to surrender. The war in the sky ended just as fast as it had begun. Silence returned to the colony. The people slowly stepped out of hiding. They looked at Lyra with shock and fear. The simple refugee girl was now surrounded by royal light. Lyra turned back to Evan. He was still alive, but weak. She gently lifted him with her power and held him close. "You saved my life," she said softly. "You saved my throne. And you saved my people." Evan tried to smile. "I only saved a girl in trouble," he said. Lyra looked at him with deep respect. "No," she said. "You saved a queen." The royal fleet landed near the colony. Elite guards kneeled before Lyra in the dust. "We are sorry we failed you," the commander said. "The galaxy waits for your return." Lyra looked at the shattered colony, then at Evan. "My place is with my people," she said, "but my life is tied to this human now." The commander hesitated. "A human," he said, "in royal space." Lyra's eyes burned with quiet fire. "He is under my protection," she said, "and one day, the whole galaxy will know his name." Far away, hidden in the dark corners of space, the council that betrayed her was watching, and they were afraid, because the queen had returned, and she did not return alone. The royal fleet moved through space like shining stars. At the center of it all was Lyra's command ship. Evan lay in a healing chamber, still weak but alive. Human doctors and royal alien medics worked together for the first time in history. Across the galaxy, the news spread like fire. The Queen has returned, the broadcast said, and she was saved by a human. Billions of beings watched the same image again and again. A small human standing alone under alien warships, refusing to bow, protecting a queen. Inside the command ship, Lyra stood before a wide screen showing the broken council chamber. The traitor council members were captured and brought to trial. They knelt in chains, their power gone. "You tried to erase me," Lyra said with calm fire in her voice. "You failed." The council leader trembled. "You changed the rules," he said, "by choosing a human." Lyra's eyes burned. "No," she replied. "The human changed the galaxy." The traitors were taken away. Their control over half the galaxy ended in a single day. Later, in the Royal Healing Hall, Evan slowly opened his eyes. Soft golden light filled the room. He saw Lyra standing beside him. "You are awake," she said softly. "Looks like I survived another bad day," Evan replied weakly. Lyra smiled through tears. "You were meant to die," she said. "Human weapons cannot face galactic fire." "But you did." Evan looked at his hands. "I was just trying to protect a friend," he said. Lyra took a step closer. "You protected more than that," she answered. "You protected hope." Days later, the Great Galactic Gathering was called. Leaders from thousands of worlds arrived. Humans were never invited before. This time, a human stood at the center. Evan walked beside Queen Lyra. The crowd watched in silence. Lyra raised her hand. "This human," she said loudly, "gave me shelter when I had no crown. He stood when armies fell. From this moment, all humans are under my protection, and all humans are allies of the Orion worlds." Shock waves moved through the galaxy. For the first time in history, humans were no longer seen as weak. They were seen as equals, as warriors, as protectors. Evan felt the weight of billions of eyes on him. "I did nothing special," he said honestly. "Anyone would save someone in danger." Lyra looked at him and smiled. "That is why you are special," she said. From that day forward, human ships traveled freely. Human colonies were defended by royal fleets. Trade, power, and respect flowed toward Earth and its people. And in the deep records of the galaxy, a new legend was written. Not of a king, not of a god, but of a simple human salvager who saved a stranded alien woman and reshaped half the galaxy with one act of kindness. As the stars turned slowly in silent space, Evan looked up at them one last time and whispered, "I only wanted a quiet life." But the universe had chosen him for something far greater.